The 2022 annual report on UAP from the ODNI has dropped today, January 12th, 73 days after it was required to be released. And with all that extra time they had to release it, it ended up being a grave disappointment. Make no mistakes, muchacho. It didn't squash the UFO enigma like it could have. So people like me will still continue to be frothing at the mouth and have every justification to do so. On the other hand, it also didn't live up to the recent statement made by, as I understand, the head of AARO, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, in which he stated the following during a DoD media roundtable on the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, on December 16th, 2022. And I quote, "Our team knows that the public interest in UAP is high. We are developing a plan to provide regular updates and progress reporting to the public on our work. While we're committed to declassifying and sharing information related to UAP to the greatest extent possible, we must, of course, balance the desire for transparency with the need to protect classified information, sources, and methods in the interest of national security." We're going to explore the report and reaction to the report. But for now, my response to the report is very simple, consisting of 9 words. We necessitate more hearings on the UAP enigma. Capiche? To echo that perspective, I wrote, "The ODNI UAP report that just dropped strengthens the posture that we need more UAP hearings. Are we really so ignorant on the nature of UAP? What do those connected with legacy UAP programs have to say about that perspective? Let's go get it." And on a positive note, Senator Marco Rubio dropped the following today. "The second annual report on unidentified anomalous phenomena has been submitted to Congressional Intelligence and Armed Services Committees. U.S. Senator Marco Rubio, Vice Chair of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, praised the report and called for more transparency. Quote, "We are making important progress in our ongoing efforts to understand these activities and what threat they may pose to America's national security. The report highlights 510 UAP national security incidents reported since 2004, a significant increase from the 144 in the 2021 report. It highlights the reason for standing up the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, to lead the whole of government effort. Quote, however, more needs to be done across the Defense Department and intelligence community to utilize existing sensors to collect and analyze more data on UAPs. I am committed to ensuring we get to the truth for the American people, Senator Rubio." So before we dig into the actual content of the report, I think it's very valuable to cover some tweets of people responding to it so that we can get a feel of how people that are paying a lot of attention to this topic felt about the quality and information found in the report. Klaus writes, "I don't understand how it's even possible to have input like this and only come up with 1,800 words that say absolutely nothing. I get there wasn't an actual office, but this report is essentially a huge middle finger to the American people." Stanford immunologist Gary P. Nolan writes, "ChatGPT prompt, quote, write a 2022 UAP report with as few specifics as you can and hide the anomalous findings in a paragraph as an obtuse reference deep in the output." T'Challa writes, 11 pages, laugh out loud. No mention of gimbal go fast. So long for them being debunked by DoD, Mick West, or Nimitz. No idea how analyses are made, by who, using additional classified data or not. Some UAPs are bird, plastic bags, some are unidentified. Cool. Next. I'm sure it will be interesting to some folks for the legislative aspect of it and about what future efforts may bring, but this particular report brings nothing for citizen investigators like us. I cite T'Challa's tweet and state, potentially nothing would halt what's taken place over the last 5 years with the UFO discussion more than debunking the initial 3 UFO cases represented by the gun camera videos. If the US government could debunk them, they would love nothing more than to do so. The UFO Rabbit Hole podcast stated, "I was ready to be disappointed by this report, but what in the actual? It's wild that what is alleged to be a government of the people and for the people, that this kind of clear stonewalling and obfuscation on a topic of such profound significance is tolerated." UFO Titan chimes in, Good to remember in light of the report, the U.S. government is one of checks and balances. The ideal form is one of accountability and limits on concentrated power. If there is no accountability, reports can be late, as this one was, and lack substance, as this one did. Up to Congress to squeeze the pipes. Mick West broke down the report quite beautifully in his article, The New UAP Report. I'll link that in the description. He wrote, the 366 new cases are broken down into 26 unmanned aircraft system drones, 163 balloons, 6 clutter such as birds, weather events, or debris like plastic bags, 171 uncharacterized and unattributed, a bit less than half, 47%. So one way to look at the numbers, although some debate this, but that's beyond the scope of this very quick video. One way to break this down is that of the new reported UAP incidents, 47% of them are considered unresolved. And from the report, here are the assumptions made about these UFO incidents that were learned about through sensor systems and visual observation from pilots and so forth. Multiple factors affect the observation or detection of UAP, such as weather, illumination, atmosphere effects, or the accurate interpretation of sensor data. Regarding review or analysis of UAP events, ODNI and ARROW operate under the assumption that UAP reports are derived from the observer's accurate recollection of the event and or sensors that generally operate correctly and capture enough real data to allow initial assessments. However, ODNI and ARROW acknowledge that a select number of UAP incidents may be attributable to sensor irregularities or variances such as operator or equipment error. Here's another notable citation from the report. Initial characterization does not mean positively resolved or unidentified. This initial characterization better enables ARROW and ODNI to efficiently and effectively leverage resources against the remaining 171 uncharacterized and unattributable UAP reports. Some of these uncharacterized UAP appear to have demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities and require further analysis. Here's another excerpt from the report. Since its established in July 2022, ARROW has formulated and started to leverage a robust and analytical process against identified UAP reporting. Once completed, ARROW's final analytics findings will be available in their quarterly reports to policymakers. ARROW's initial analysis and characterization of the 366 newly identified reports, informed by a multi-agency process, judged more than half as exhibiting unremarkable characteristics. And as others have pointed out, this is basically another way of saying that a significant number remain that do not appear to have such prosaic characteristics and remain a focus of ARROW's further investigations. From Mick West's article, the 144 original UAP reports are basically ignored here, which is a shame because they probably include the Nimitz, Gimbal, and Go Fast cases, i.e. the 3 famous Navy videos. Early reporting by ABC News and the New York Times included Pentagon officials saying that Gimbal and Go Fast had been partially characterized as sensor issue for Gimbal's famous rotation and a parallax illusion for Go Fast. Yet there's no hint of that in the report. The Pentagon has the opportunity to stop the speculation there, and they should do so. I would say that earlier reporting was wrong and that Julian Barnes of the New York Times was given bad information. In this light, I wrote today, had the UFO report thrown cold water on the 3 UFO videos or debunked them, skeptics would rightfully be filled with glee. That didn't happen, which betrays logic if the U.S. government wants this story to go away. I'd argue they want it to go away, but no, it can't. Have a good one. The Chola chimes in very astutely and writes, the DoD released the 3 unclassified videos on their website in 2020. They do not reveal any sensitive capabilities or systems. Their words. The least they could do is clear this up. If they had solved them, why not say it? Same if it's still unresolved. And here's that excerpt that the Chola is referencing. Release, immediate release. Statement by the Department of Defense on the release of historical Navy videos, April 27, 2020. The Department of Defense has authorized the release of 3 unclassified Navy videos, one taken in November 2004 and the other 2 in January 2015, which have been circulating in the public domain after unauthorized release in 2007 and 2017. The U.S. Navy previously acknowledged that these videos circulating in the public domain were indeed Navy videos. After a thorough review, the department has determined that the authorized release of these unclassified videos does not reveal any sensitive capabilities or systems and does not impinge on any subsequent investigations of military airspace incursions by unidentified aerial phenomena. DoD is releasing the videos in order to clear up any misconceptions by the public on whether or not the footage that has been circulating was real or whether or not there is more to the videos. The aerial phenomena observed in the videos remain uncharacterized as unidentified. The released videos can be found at the Naval Air System Command FOIA reading room. The bottom line, in my opinion, is that even though this UFO report that just dropped today was lackluster, it still objectively demonstrates, in my opinion, that the government cannot make this go away. Because if they could, they would do what it requires to make it go away. But they can't. They didn't throw cold water on the 3 Navy videos that we're all familiar with and the UFO encounters that they document. And that's what got this whole thing on the road and transformed the media landscape and initiated the conversation shifting in such a groundbreaking way with all of our representatives in Congress talking soberly about the UFO issue. They could make this go away if they had the evidence to do so. The evidence is the opposite. I've been tracking this for 5 years. I've been paying very close attention to what members of Congress have been saying and witnesses from these UFO events. And by the way, people from the 2015 event series and people from the 2004 event series all say that the videos that were released are not the totality of the footage taken, even though that what I just shared with you from that DoD press release said that they wanted to demonstrate that that's the full video. It's not. The following is a clip from a CNN interview with Commander David Fravor, I believe days after the New York Times 2017 article dropped that was the impetus for all of this change that has been going on for 5 years. What he says is not just based on his experience. He's seen the data, and I've covered that before. He's seen the radar tape. Other people from this incident have seen the full video and other high fidelity data that's classified. It's because of that high fidelity data that's classified that they know this can't go away. Are they obfuscating? Are they giving the impression they know less than they know? Yes, in my opinion. Can they continue down this road indefinitely? No. No, they cannot.
What was it about the movement of this or the appearance of this that made you believe it wasn't from this world as opposed to something else?
Well, the first thing is it had no wings, so you think, okay, it's a helicopter. Well, there's no rotor wash in the water. There's no rotors. And when helicopters move side to side, they kind of slow and then they pick up speed going the other way. This was extremely abrupt, like a ping pong ball bouncing off a wall. It would hit and go the other way and change directions at will. And then the ability to hover over the water and then start a vertical climb from basically zero up towards about 12,000 feet and then accelerate in less than 2 seconds and disappear is something I had never seen in my life.
Now listen, I'm sure you've spoken to people, you told the story to some people who react with skepticism, shake their heads a bit.
Yes.
What do you say to people who doubt the account?
Well, I think it's easy to doubt what we can't explain. But when you actually see things, and this is not the first account of someone seeing a UFO, but in this situation, you're talking about 4 people, all eyeballs on, ranging in experience from relatively new in a fleet squadron, which is VFA 41, to myself, who had over 16 years of flying and well over 3,500 hours nonstop. So I would argue that it wasn't a weather balloon, it wasn't a flare, it was an actual object that we tracked, we looked at for somewhere around 5 minutes before it rapidly accelerated.
I busted my ass to get this video published on the day the report dropped. So this video is not as exhaustive as it might have otherwise been, but bear in mind that I can always do a future analysis looking over other details. And every time I talk about Mick West, people get upset. Not a lot of people, just a very minute number. Mick West is part of the conversation. And he is the premier, most influential UFO skeptic on the face of this earth. So don't get upset if I talk about him. It's part of the conversation. And he's also wrong, in my opinion. And if he ends up being wrong, as a friend of mine told me, he may never hear the end of it. So, you know, let's give Mick West his place at the table and hear him out. And I do listen to his arguments. Do I think he's right? No, I don't. I think this is going to continue to going in the same direction it has for the past 5 years. The consensus will grow, and we'll eventually get what's colloquially described as disclosure. But I want to keep it there. I want to upload this ASAP. Thank God I've been sleeping better, so I'm able to do stuff like this. And I hope you found value in this video. And I wish you and yours all the very best. Please do not forget to subscribe. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can check out my merch shop where I sell t-shirts. You become a patron. You could become a YouTube member. You could give me a one-time donation. All those possibilities are in the description box below. Or you could just slap a like on this bad boy, and I'll appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching this. And I'll see you in the next episode. Special thanks to all patrons, YouTube members, those that have bought merch, those that have given me a one-time donation. I couldn't do without you. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode.